coming at you tonight, and we are talking about American Horror Story, Season 5, Episode 4, Hotel. So, this is probably my favorite episode so far. It had a lot of good stuff in it. I liked how it started off. Kind of wasn't sure what was going on at first, but then you realize it's kind of Devil's Night, and the hotel is hosting kind of a party for it. Eddie, what are your thoughts on the opening, the beginning?
You know, I thought it was really cool how they opened it and everything. I really liked where they went with the Devil's Night. I like how, like, it took me a second, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Richard Ramirez, what the fuck?
Right?
So,
the Night Stalker!
yeah, it was pretty crazy. But it was interesting how Mr. Marsh calls him Ricardo.
Yeah, kind of like they're friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like they've hung out before a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So, after the opening, the next scene is, shows Alex, and she's taking Holden home, and she's kind of trying to diagnose what is going on with him, because she doesn't understand what's going on with him. She leaves the room for a second to get him some orange juice, and comes back, and the dog is...
Yeah.
I didn't really like that. How she felt that.
She's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that, because she hasn't seen her son in forever, and then, you know, she brings him home, and he kills the dog, and he's not acting normal.
Yeah, and he's like, I want my other mommy.
Yeah, see, and that totally just trips out Alex, like, hella bad. So then, I believe the next part, is it when it shows the maid, Mary Winningham, kind of her flashback?
Yeah, it shows her flashback and everything, what's going on with her, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, to 1925, and those murders were real. The chicken coop murders?
Yeah.
That was actually a real thing. Some guy was kidnapping kids and killing them and stuff. And so I thought that was really interesting, because her and John end up kind of on the same level, because they both lost their kid. They couldn't find their kid, and so they could definitely relate to each other in that factor.
Yeah.
And then, so Alex goes to the Countess to be like, what the hell did you do to my kid?
Yeah, she's like so upset, and the Countess is like, listen, he has a blood disease. Let me put in medical terms which you'll understand.
I don't know, it's weird how they keep calling it a virus.
Yeah, it's very interesting take on the vampire.
But I guess it makes sense, because, I don't know, because the story is based in, you know, like now, like these times, and so they'd rather call it a virus. My favorite part is when Lady Gaga character, the Countess, is talking to Tristan after Alex leaves. And, and she's like, don't worry, like, she'll do anything for her true love. And he's like, what, you banging her too?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I laughed really hard at that part. Liz Taylor's character talks a lot more in this one, so you kind of get a little bit more feel for him, Dennis O'Hare.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then it Eileen Wuornos. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was mind-blowing.
I love that. If you've seen Monster with Charlize Theron, like, they look so similar to each other.
Yeah, I was like, did they have the same actress? But it wasn't the same actress.
They did an amazing job with that. So at the dinner, what did you think of the dinner?
I thought the dinner was actually really cool. I liked how they had like John Wayne Gacy, they had Jeffrey Dahmer, Richard Ramirez, Eileen.
The Zodiac Killer.
What?
They had the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, the Zodiac Killer. They had quite a few different serial killers in there. it's kind of interesting take because you really have never seen a whole bunch of serial killers sitting at a table eating dinner and talking about different ways they killed people and how Mr. Marsh taught them, and it was kind of an interesting take.
Yeah, I loved Evan Peters. He's just slaying this whole thing. He's awesome. I love his character in this.
Yeah.
What I found to be really interesting about this was the John Wayne Gacy character is actually played by John Carroll Lynch, who played Twisty the Clown in Freak Show.
Huh, didn't know that.
He was just recently on The Walking Dead. The newest episode is Eastman.
Didn't know that.
How freaking cool is that? I thought that was kind of the biggest, revelation, and this is freaking awesome. I loved that factor.
Yeah, that's way cool.
Maybe Robbie, however you say her last name, I don't even know. And that name, Warna, she was probably, my favorite in this. I thought that she did such a good job. Who was your favorite character?
Out of the serial killers, it would be Jeffrey Dahmer. I liked how they actually showed some of the techniques that he was actually doing to people when he was actually really killing people.
And he seems so innocent, like a very just likable, quiet guy. And I thought it was really eerie.
Yeah, it was definitely eerie.
How they did that. Probably one of the biggest redeeming things for me with Sally the junkie was kind of how she, after John was all knocked out and disoriented, she came in and woke him up and helped him.
Yeah, that's quite interesting with her character because in the last few episodes she's just been trying to kill people, hurt people, do different things like that.
She did end up bringing that guy up.
Yeah.
To kill him, but I really liked that, how she came in to help John and was like, wake up, what are you doing in here?
Yeah.
And, because I haven't been the biggest fan of her.
Me either.
Yet, but I really liked that attribute that she had with it. So, it ends with Alex and the Countess kind of meeting up.
Yeah.
What did you think of the ending? How did you like that?
I liked how that ended with Alec and the Countess. I really enjoyed it. I think there's going to be a lot more to come, especially if John finds out that Alec has turned to a vampire. Mm-hmm. And I think there's going to be some huge dilemma between the Countess and Alec and John and Holden and that whole family.
I think it's interesting because Lady Gaga, the Countess, she just seems very selective with who she kind of picks to turn.
Yeah, she is. She's very selective.
And so, I don't know. I thought it was interesting that she kind of picked Alex to turn into a vampire.
Yeah.
But I was really confused when how Lady Gaga, when it shows her taking Holden, from the beach and then saying, I took him because he wasn't getting enough attention and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But in the last episode, or the episode before, I can't remember, Alex was just completely doting on Holden and how much she loved him and cared for him.
You might find out more details of John. Maybe he was child abuse or something with Holden, and that's why the Countess took Holden away.
I don't know. That just kind of confused me because I'm like, where it doesn't show anything of her neglecting Holden whatsoever. Why him? And has she been watching them?
Yeah. I think you'll find more out in the next coming episodes.
I think there's a lot more to be found out. This is definitely my favorite episode. What was your favorite scene?
Probably my favorite scene is the whole dinner party and how they just brutally killed the one guy, and then Jeffrey Dahmer was drilling into the one guy's head and turn him into a zombie. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of freaky, I think. Was there a character that you didn't like in this?
I enjoyed all the characters in this episode. They all brought something to the table.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I really liked Sally when she came back and helped John. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Lady Gaga didn't really have a huge part in this one.
Yeah, I think this was almost like a standalone episode for Halloween and everything. They wanted to go with the Devil's Night, but they tied it in. So I think tomorrow we'll find out more what's going on with the Countess and what's going on with John and all that.
Yeah, Evan Peters did an excellent freaking job as Mr. James March. I think that this character that he's portraying is really good.
Yeah, he did a really good job on Mr. Marsh.
And it has a lot of depth to it, and so I'm really impressed with his acting on this one. So overall, was this your favorite episode, least favorite?
I would have to say it's my favorite episode. I mean, I've always been interested in reading about serial killers and stuff, so that was kind of interesting, the whole take on serial killers.
Yeah, I think that this was definitely my favorite episode so far. Any final thoughts?
Just keep on watching. It's getting more interesting and more interesting every episode. I mean, I'm really enjoying the season. I mean, it's like a religion for me to watch it every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's definitely revealing a lot more. I really want to know more about Liz Taylor's character. That's kind of who I want to delve in deeper to and figure out what his deal is and why he's there. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah.
This was our little spiel about American Horror Story Season 5, Episode 4 of Hotel. So we will be recording another one probably tomorrow or the day after. What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Have a great night.
Have a great night.